in terms of visual similarities, they're there, but in terms of characterization, that's where we need to go into the further deeper dive on this, because a lot of Eisenberg fans have brought up, like, he's basically the Birthright Lex.
Yeah, there was that famous panel that basically shows that hair, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of the flashbacks. So in the Birthright storyline, Lex Luthor has this hair in Smallville, is a childhood friend of Clark's, just like in the Superboy comic, as well as the Smallville TV show.
Okay.
And then due to another experiment, he ends up losing it in an accident, an explosion that involves Clark. But he does not know that Clark has superpowers.
Okay, right.
So that's the version. Have you read this comic?
I have not. It's all new to me.
Okay. All right, well, if you're a fan of Eisenberg's Lex, you might enjoy this one. But let's dive in and examine, is Eisenberg's Lex the Birthright Lex? As I reread
this is the magic
thing.
question for this episode,
Yes,
I think.
I think so.
Yes.
I reread Birthright just to do some comparisons. So here's what I found. In both the comic and the movie, Lex is vastly intelligent and holds it above everyone else to the point of being just rude. However, he never really speaks in big metaphors like the Eisenberg Lex.
Trying to be deep.
This definitely seems to be a Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder thing.
Yeah.
Snyder definitely wanted that idea of, like, he'll talk circles around you and doesn't care if you can keep up.
Talking about, like, bringing down God, or just something about talking about sort of religious talk, bringing in big themes.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
So Lex has, like, one instance in Birthright issue number 6 of saying something that goes over Lois's head, but mostly speaks smart by speaking technically, using a lot of technical terms, not necessarily from metaphors or word games. This Lex does seem to enjoy himself more than the popular depiction. So, like Eisenberg's, he seems to be having a fun time, but doesn't quite have the same eccentricities. He sings, like, once, which is kind of like Eisenberg's Lex, when at one point Eisenberg's Lex goes la-da-da-da-da. There's like one instance, though at one point the Birthright Lex does raise his hands and say ta-da, but
that's reaching, though, I think.
I'm like, it's not quite the same eccentricities. It's probably more of an extension of that, I would say.
It's mixing that Max Landis shit with
which we'll cover.
This comic.
For those who don't know, we'll be covering that soon.
That gets also pretty deep divey at this point. Yeah.
Both versions of Lex seem to have an emotional breakdown at some point. In BVS, it's Lex seems to have it in the middle of his speech.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Birthright storyline, Lex has a tantrum when he thinks his machine doesn't work, but it's almost written like a culmination of his insecurities coming up rather than a breakdown and meltdown in public, which is what we got in BVS.